as the number of confirmed cases here in the United States is now approaching 2 million.
Never before in U.S. history has there been such a significant job loss.
Millions of people are starting to get a taste of the helpless feeling of job loss.
Situations like we are in right now happens once, twice, maybe 3 times within our life. And our first instincts tend to be, how long can I keep to myself and let this storm pass by? But instead, we should be asking the question, what can I do during this time? How can I help move all of us forward together? I teach a senior level graphic design class at Cal State Fullerton Visual Arts Department. When the quarantine happened, I knew I needed to pivot the direction of my class. Instead of giving them projects to work on, logos to design, I started reaching out to small local businesses around me and asking them, what can we do to help their business? The class and I would then create 4, 5, sometimes 6 weeks worth of social media content. We would just then give that to these businesses, all free, to help them within this time. The semester has ended. We've helped out 11 businesses, and I have decided to continue this service through my company, Concept Zombie LLC. 13 of my 25 students decided to come back and help me with this. We're continuing to reach out to small businesses, and we're going to continue to help them through this time. If you need help, reach out. We have no idea where this is going to lead us to, but we're going to go find out.
All right, good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for having me as part of Creative Mornings. I'm a big fan of this organization. I'm sure seen many of you in our gatherings. I've helped out with Creative Mornings in Orange County, and being here, being one of the speakers is a true honor for me. So thank you for having me. And the topic of Underdog is it was almost like made for me, but ultimately, really, actually, it's made for everyone. And what I mean about that is that every single one of us is an underdog, right? So let me just kind of expand on that a little bit. I mean, from the very, very beginning, okay, us individually is at one point in time was about 200 million sperm cells. Yeah, I know. I'm going to go there this morning. All right, I'm going to go there this morning. Right? We are one of 200 million sperm cells at one point in time, and we had to beat out everybody else. Right? So just think about that. Right? We are alive. We are here, right now. We beat out millions and millions of other to be alive. That's one heck of an underdog mindset, right? And so now as thing goes on, we are an underdog within time, within opportunities, goals, visions, creativity, right? We're a room full of creatives, a room full of designers, art directors, illustrators, creative directors, writers, artists. And when we're looking at, that blank canvas, we're the underdogs, right? It's going to be so much easier for us to not put down that paint, to not start that writing, right? So, yeah, we're all underdogs, and so let's start that talk right there and then. Okay, so I'd love to kind of share some stories with everyone as far as where it came about. How did Creative Aid came about? The video that everybody just saw. As a Filipino immigrant, back in 1984, my family and I came out here from the Philippines, and we had very little, if any at all. Right? I mean, we literally left our lives in the Philippines, and my mother, by herself, brought all 4 kids here in the States. And we lived in Michigan because, the Philippines and Michigan is kind of the same, right? I mean, total polar opposite. And on top of that, we landed in Michigan in February, in the middle of a snowstorm. I've never seen snow in my life. I've only seen it through magazine, movies, but we had no idea what we were getting into. And the point of the move was for our mom to give us a chance for a different, better life than what was in front of us in the Philippines. Now, mind you, I was 11, and what was in front of me in the Philippines was all I knew. So it was fantastic. I didn't know any better. Well, I didn't know any better beyond living in a third world country. And so I was popular. I was one of the popular kids in my class. And, the girl, I liked the girl. And so when we left, I never saw her again, right? And we were placed here in the States not knowing, I didn't know that we weren't going to come back ever. And at that point, we had to kind of figure things out. I was a total underdog. I went from, being the popular kid, the bottom of the barrel. I spoke English. Yeah, my mother had the foresight to have us go through class and lessons to learn how to speak English. But we were nowhere near what I was at least nowhere near what a typical 11-year-old American kid was in. We lived in a city called Grosse Pointe. And if you think about Grosse Pointe is actually a really nice, affluent city within Michigan. It's the border, it's onto Detroit. But my mother had, again, the force to renting a house right on the border of Detroit. Literally, if I was standing over here, I would be in Detroit. I'm standing over here, I would be in Grosse Pointe. Right? We were literally living in the border of Grosse Pointe, and for the purpose so that my siblings and I could go to the Grosse Pointe school system, to give us an edge, to give us that little bit of a leg up, so that I could experience what it's like to be in middle school in Grosse Pointe, be in high school, and eventually go to art school. And through that experience, we had people helping us, family. My long-term mentor and family friend, he gave us his Volvo car. It was an old box beige 4-door Volvo, and it was for the sole purpose to get us from point A to point B. That's it. So we can have jobs and we can drive to a job, right? No, it wasn't for show. It wasn't so that we can chill and ride up and down Woodward Avenue. No, it was just to get us to a job. I remember one day my oldest brother coming home with a garbage bag full of clothes, and people had just given us clothes to wear. It wasn't to be stylish. It wasn't to kind of have the newest thing, but just to have clothes to wear for me to go to school. So it's the idea life is going to just throw us a bunch of different things, and we're always going to be underdogs. And the point is that how are we going to react to it? What are we going to take away from that? And then not on top of that, what are we going to do about it? Right? So creative aid is that, right? Creative Aid is taking that mindset that we are all underdogs. COVID-19, that's all what it is. It just revealed how much all of us are all underdogs, various different levels. I just happen to have the opportunity, the resources, the connection, the network, the class to kick off Creative Aid, to be able to reach out, help out small local businesses. When March hit and everybody saw, the quarantine coming down the horizon, right? I've had the fortunate career path that I've gotten to work on national global brands like Taco Bell, Hyundai, Mattel, Toyota, Lincoln Mercury, Chevy. These are huge, big global brands. And they're going to be okay, right? I mean, let's tell the truth. During COVID-19, they'll be fine. We'll see them again about 5-10 years. They'll be around. Okay? But our small local businesses, the one that we kind of go to for just a quick bagel, a quick coffee, or maybe a massage or a haircut. They're the ones that's getting hit. They're the ones that's getting punched in the gut with COVID-19. And so this was an opportunity for me and for us to do something about it, as opposed to just hunkering down. Okay, and so the mindset behind that. And so the question is like, wow, that's really great. I get a little bit of history of how you got here, Fernando. And that's, I'm not saying it, I'm not sharing these stories with everyone just to say how easy it was or it is. And it's certainly not easy at all. It's an everyday journey. It's an everyday step, not just for me, but for everyone. And I can look back and trust the process to how it got me to where I am. And one of the other things that I would love to share with everyone is I'm very family oriented. I'm sure, as you guys could tell. I have 15-year-old twins now, and they're homeschooled just like everybody else. They were doing our best just like everyone else. And when the quarantine was hitting, I told them, I said, "Hey, listen, I'm they know how hard I work, how little sleep I get because I love being so much." And I told them, I said, "Listen, this is what's going to happen. Things are going to shut down. Things are going to get harder. And I will tell you this, I will double down, triple down on my efforts. I'm going to work even harder during this whole time." Back in the day when Disney Plus was saying, "Oh, we're going to put up Tangled 2, or no, I'm sorry. What was it? The other one? It's not Tangled, but the ice one, Frozen 2. Thank you. Frozen 2. Right. And everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. Thank you, Disney." Well, those are nothing but honeypots, right? Honeypots to kind of draw you in a little bit so you can kind of throttle back a little bit, sit back, and hopefully hunker down, as opposed to metal to the and doubling down our efforts. And through that mindset, I was able to pivot the class that I was teaching to become Creative Aid. Another story I would love to share about this is that as soon as the quarantine happened, the whole campus, Cal State Fullerton, went in Zoom calls. We went from face to face to, and a week or two came by, and I was being very mindful of my students' mental state, really, just to kind of ask them, how's it going? How you doing? And inside your house, you're now with your family or your roommate or whatever it might be. And, my students started to tell me that they're having a difficult time through this whole thing. It is difficult for me as everyone. I can imagine from a younger person's perspective. And as soon as we were able to start to help out small local businesses, I saw this shift, this thing that kind of changed. That engagement was different. And in the end of the semester, I was meeting with them individually again. And I was asking them, so how's it going? And they were saying, Fernando, you know what? It's so much better. You actually took the time to help us with our mental state. You gave us the opportunity to make a difference, to control something that we felt we had zero control of. Right? That was part of the one of the biggest issue that they were running into, is that they felt that they were just stuck in this space. But what we were starting to do is that we were actually making something that's impacting other people outside of their space, outside of themselves, outside of their house. And so they were being helped out internally, mentally, emotionally, along with flexing their creativity and helping out small local businesses. So it was a win-win-win-win situation for everyone. So that's kind of the biggest point of Creative Aid, is to have this platform for everyone to kind of be in and help out in. And what's great about that is that it's starting to get traction with Creative Mornings, giving me this platform to talk about it. Since the semester ended, 13 of my former students jumped in. I have now at least 5, maybe 6, actually not even 7 industry professionals that have joined in. Senior level strategists, senior level planners, senior level copywriters joining in, senior level videographers joining in, being part of this. And so it just continues to be this wonderful big thing. One thing I want to just share one last time, it just kind of circle it back to, us being an underdog from the very beginning and who we are as humans and how our brain operates, is that, I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is a wonderful author, speaker, coach, and he speaks to this, and it really resonated with me. And he speaks to us as we're biological creatures, right? As humans, we operate with the things that we do and how the chemicals that our brain produces to make us feel good, feel bad, recover, and so on. Okay, so there are 4 specific that make us. There is endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Now, each of them are very specific. Like dopamine, the point of a dopamine rush is to mask the pain. Everybody's heard of the runner's high, right? The point of dopamine is that to kind of mask the trauma, the pain that we have caused our bodies doing this activity. Right? I'm sorry, that was endorphin. My bad. Sorry, endorphin. That's the mask the pain. Okay. Dopamine is the chemical that gives us this sense of accomplishment, right? When I'm a big list person, I love writing down lists. I have a list right here, right? This is my list for today, right? I break it up to morning, afternoon, midnight. I kid you not, right? And every time I cross out a part of my list, I get this dopamine rush, this dopamine drip, and it's awesome, right? Wonderful. The next chemical that we produce is serotonin, and serotonin is that gives us validation when we do something and we hold it into high value, like when we graduate, right? And we get a shot of serotonin because we have accomplished this thing and we feel proud. And then our parents are there sitting in the audience and they see what we've done and they get a nice shot of serotonin because they feel proud, right? But this 4th chemical is the most interesting one out of all of them, especially to me, which is oxytocin. And oxytocin is they call it the love chemical. And what oxytocin, when oxytocin is triggered, is kind of when we help each other out. Okay, and let me give you guys a story or an example. I was driving home one day, and I saw just off a little bit in the distance. I was in the side streets. I was on the freeway, and somebody had pulled over, and they were kind of blocking the road, and so obviously they're having car troubles, right? And then as I pass them, I see that there's a young lady sitting there, kind of not sure exactly what needs to be done. So in the next light, I did a U-turn, I turned around, and I pulled up behind her car, and she didn't have her hazards on. So I get out, and I go, "Hey, how's it going? Is everything okay?" And she's just like, "Oh, I just ran out of gas." Okay, no problem. I just want to make sure you're fine. You should turn on your hazards though, because people don't know that you're stalled. And she's like, "I have no idea where it is. It's a rental. I'm a tourist. I have no idea." Right. And so I go, "Okay, well, let me take a look." I've worked on car accounts, and I've been in different cars. So I'm looking, and I couldn't find it. Right. And finally I found it. Right. I found it, and I clicked it, and it was right. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you." And I was like, "Of course, no problem. Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, someone's coming." And I felt good, right? Shot of oxytocin. She felt good. Shot of oxytocin because somebody helped her. And here's what's interesting about oxytocin is that anybody that witness an act of kindness, right? They don't have to be part of that act of kindness. They just need to witness it, right? I had someone pull over as after I had helped her out. And he was like, "Are you guys good?" And like, "Yeah, we're good." And he like, great, pulls off. He got a shot of oxytocin, right? So the point of oxytocin keeps us connected, right? It keeps us helping each other out, looking after each other. And so to me, I'm a big fan of that. And if the more I can have the opportunity and the ability to pass that down, to pass that along, and utilizing my creativity, utilizing my resources, utilizing my network, then that's what it's all about. So, as fellow underdogs, I hope this is something that you find value in. Connect with me. I'm really easy to find. Concept Zombie is my handle and my website, my email. So I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to be part of what we're doing with Creative Aid, reach on over. Thank you.